Well, hello all you fine people out there in YouTube land. This is the NRA Man Forever. And on this week's installment of Lame Ass Excuses for Gun Control, we are going to talk about the fact that gun controls are where gun shows are where criminals get their guns. I think I might have heard that one before. I ain't too sure. But either way, this week's quote comes from Mayor Cory Booker. He said this back in December 17th, 2012. And he said that the overwhelming majority of my gun crimes and the overwhelming majority of gun crimes committed in America are done by people who got their guns illegally. I like it so far. So far it's true. So far it's accurate. Don't get that a lot from the left. By people who got their guns in the secondary market. Hope you were paying attention. The secondary, not the black market, the secondary market. That's what I said before. About 40% of our guns are being sold in secondary markets. Places like gun shows, the internet. There's no regulation, there's no background checks. And that is an out-and-out lie in regards to the gun shows and the internet sales. And here's why. I know I stated this before, but I'll break it down Barney style. There are two categories that the federal government recognizes when it concerns the transfer of a firearm. There is commercial transfer and there is non-commercial transfers. Non-commercial transfers are one-time transactions between two private individuals in a non-commercial setting. That's, for instance, me selling my .30-06 to my neighbor, or my father leaving behind a Beretta over-under to me when he dies. Those are non-commercial transactions, and the reason they're considered non-commercial transactions is because even though there might be some money changing hands in exchange for the firearm, the person selling it is not relying on the sale of firearms as a livelihood to make money permanently. Commercial sales of firearms are your gun dealers, your internet brokers, your gun show vendors. Those people rely on the sale of firearms to make money and earn their living. To be able to legally sell firearms in a commercial transaction, you must be licensed through the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives as a federal firearms dealer. You must have a federal firearms license. Now, I bring that up because a gun show, the only thing happening at gun shows, it's a commercial sale. Every firearm there is sold with the intention of making money and earning a livelihood. Therefore, every person, every dealer at a gun show must be a licensed dealer. Now, you don't need to pursue a background check to legally do a non-commercial transfer. You do have to perform background checks when it is commercial transfers of firearms. Otherwise, you lose your license. And if you're selling guns in a commercial transfer without a license, and especially without a background check, your ass is going to jail. It is a felony and a federal offense. Now, being that the only thing that occurs at gun shows are commercial transactions of firearms, that means the only people that can sell guns there are federally licensed firearm dealers. Those people have to perform background checks on every person they sell one or multiple guns to, no matter what. The only exception to the rule would be if I walked in as a patron to a gun show with, one or two firearms that I was looking to trade or sell to a federally licensed vendor. The only exception of a gun sale or a gun transfer that goes on at a gun show without a background check. That's the only one. Otherwise, so let's, just for clarification, at gun shows, you can walk in and give them your gun with no background check, regardless of money changing hands or you're swapping for another gun. However, if they give you a gun and you walk out with it, they must perform a background check on you. Period. Now, let's go to internet sales of guns. I gotta admit, I am not a big fan of internet sales of guns, but there is still a background check required. Here's the way that works. Say I want to go to impactguns.com and buy an AR-15. Alright, I whip out my debit card and I pay online. They get my money. Now, what happens is they don't ship it to my house directly. There is a middleman in there. They have to, by law, ship that weapon to a federally licensed firearms dealer. When that rifle or whatever gun you buy arrives at said dealer, then you will get a phone call or an email from the dealer saying, hey, your gun's here, you can come pick it up. You drive over to your gun store that has your gun, and then you pay a small fee and they do the background check. You can't walk out of that gun store with that firearm that you bought online without the background check. So Mayor Booker, you're wrong. There is regulation and there are background checks. The moral of the story is simple. Non-commercial sales, transfers, do not require a background check. The only legal requirement is that all the responsibility is on the seller or the transferee, I guess you could say, or transferor, you could say, it's their responsibility to know that they are not giving a gun to a felon or to somebody who cannot legally possess a gun. Outside of that, there is no need for a background check. In a commercial transaction of a firearm, it is required that a background check be done, be it in a conventional gun store, at a pawn shop, at a gun show, or even buying guns online. Background check is still got to be done, and it is going to be done at some point in the process before you take your possession of your firearm. This is the NRA Man Forever, reminding you that united we stand, divided we fall. Join the NRA today.